One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Oh, that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There is a new online resource for helping you find out all about venues before you go if you've never been before.
Pray tell.
It is called Venue Llama.
Venue Llama.
And just in case you didn't know, Llama has 2 L's. Llama tell you about it. It's an online resource that provides live music fans the insider venue info that you need, that you didn't know you needed, but you need it because you didn't know it. A place where fans can quickly rate venues and share venue tips and intel about those places. VenueLlama.com launches in late spring, but we're currently doing a sneak preview for No Simple Road listeners. Head over to VenueLlama.com/NSR. That's VenueLlama.com/NSR to check out the beta version and put your info in there. I know they need reviews for Red Rocks. And
They need reviews for a whole lot of stuff on their site now. They have the whole Widespread Panic tour with all the venues. They have the Fish tour with venues. They have
Goose,
Dead and Company and all the venues. So there's a lot of venues out there too.
So head over to VenueLlama.com/NSR now. Sign up and become a llama head. Yeah, do it.
Shop Tour Bus is No Simple Road's fantastic sponsor of Grateful Dead inspired merch. This is not what you normally see, the skulls, the Berthas, none of that. This is cute little funky pictures told in song.
Or
Songs.
they tell the story.
Tell the story of the song in picture.
That's right.
And what do they do it on? They do it on hoodies. They do it on T-shirts. They do it on canvas bags. And they have stickers.
Don't
that's
forget
right.
the stickers and the patches.
Nope, stickers and patches. They got it all going on. And you too can get your awesome T-shirt mailed to you in a one-of-a-kind box. It's not just a box. It's actually got all kinds of goodies. Aaron?
Apple?
It's the coolest box. You don't know what you're going to get. You
Tell
get
us
it.
about the box.
Your shirt is like rolled up so tight and perfectly with this twine, and you get a picture. You get a pencil. Some people may get a special bootleg. Yes, a bootleg.
Real bootleg.
Yep, that's been passed around. And then there's going to be all kinds of tchotchkes, candies. You just don't know. So you got to order to find out. Also, they have their new tie-dyes. They just announced like 3 hours ago. Next week, they will be shipping the new wheel tie-dyes with the little bug on it. So act quick. These go fast.
Yeah, they do.
You don't want to be caught without one wearing that old booty shirt on the lot.
It will come to you for free shipping if you put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word.
So make sure you put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word. Go to shoptourbus.com or at shoptourbus on Instagram. Check out all the dope shit they got going on. you just got home from work and you're hungry and the family's hungry and you don't know what to make, and somebody says, what do you want to do? I'm going to give you the answer, because that's the toughest question of living on planet Earth right now, is what you want to eat. So I'm going to make it easy for you. If you live in Portland or you live in Denver, you're going to say, let's go to Fire on the Mountain. Why are you going to say that? Because they have the best damn food out there, and it's made with love and intention by other heads. 3 locations here in Portland, 2 locations in Denver. Here in Portland, they've got the Fire on the Mountain Brewing Company. They've got merch. Help me out, Apple.
They've got all their special. I was going to say you better take advantage. Today is the 28th. You only have a few days to take advantage of the April specials, which you just need to go check them out. And then they're going to have all new specials probably in May.
Yeah, if you want to check out the specials here in Portland, you go to FOTM PDX, and in Denver, FOTM Denver. And you can go to portlandwings.com and order yourself some of the sauces. If you're not in one of these locations, you can have a Fire on the Mountain, No Simple Road family, Grateful Dead-ish experience with chicken wings in your own house, and it'll be great. You could wear one of their hoodies or a hat or their
don't
socks.
forget to get some merch.
And if you're local, you can actually go to Market of Choice and go to the hot sauce department, and they have Fire on the Mountain on the shelf.
What?
If you don't want to wait.
Didn't know that.
That's
I
right.
didn't
I've even
either.
got a photo of it.
Boom.
So boom, guys, there you go. Fire on the mountain.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongSummerCamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple. Check it out.
Isn't that always the case?
That is always the case.
There we go. Yeah.
What's going
How
on,
are you
man?
guys?
Good, brother.
We're good.
Let me get my shit together here. Hang on one second.
Thanks for meeting me so early on a Saturday morning. I'm sure that
Oh, it's our pleasure, man.
ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's lying. I was exhausted. I didn't want to get up, Mike. I didn't fucking want to do it.
She was the first one to say, I'm glad we're doing it early.
Yeah.
No, man, it's good to meet you.
Hey, Mike.
You as well.
For everybody out there, why don't you introduce yourself to them?
Sure. My name is Mike Chadinha, and I am one of the partners with Northlands Music Festival out in Swansea, New Hampshire.
Well, I am stoked to meet you, man. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Mel.
And then I'm Apple.
Sure.
Pleasure to meet you all.
So, Mike, your lineup for the festival is pretty amazing this year. I'm sad that we can't be there.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, man. There's a lot going on.
There's only so many days in a month.
Yeah. If we could add some days, we'd be good. But
yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about like the world that we're in now post COVID and doing a music festival? Were you doing this before everything went down, or is this new?
No, actually, oddly enough, this festival was kind of born from COVID.
Oh.
My partner and I were working mostly in performing arts centers before this, 1,000 cap rooms or so, half dozen in the Northeast. And then COVID hit, we shut down, and we're busybodies, So when COVID was happening, we saw out in Europe that someone was doing a drive-in, and we just were sick of making sourdough breads at home. And,
me too, man.
That was me. Sourdough bread had a surge.
Oh yeah, it really did. I just wasn't that good at it.
Okay.
People were doing it much better than I was. So we decided to do a drive-in series. We called it Drive-In Live, and it kind of just opened up this whole new door for us that wasn't there pre-COVID, actually. So we did Drive-In Live. We could fit about 600 cars, so we were able to get bigger bands. We did Warren Haynes, we did Goose and Twiddle and Dirty Heads and lots of different kinds of shows. And it was a way for us to kind of step up and do bigger programming. And we'd always talked about doing a festival, but that wasn't necessarily in the cards then, but it's on the same land that we do the festival at now. So, we did Drive-In Live. It went really well. I mean, people needed something to do, right?
Yeah.
And it was quite a unique experience.
I'll bet.
In a great way. It was BYOB and you're at your car. So it was like tailgating at a concert. BYOB, people were bringing couches in their whole living room set and coolers. It was just wild, and then, shoot to the next year, it couldn't be a drive-in any longer because, COVID was kind of tamping down a bit. Regulations kind of came back into form where the year before they kind of let anything go. It was kind of like the Wild West with just, if you're doing something safe and entertainment, people were going to let some things slide.
Right.
Like BYOB with your car.
With your car. I mean, if we just pause for a minute and think about that.
Yeah, that's
how are they getting home?
It's like the drive-through liquor stores that serve slushies. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, right. I mean, it's just funny too, because it's almost just like an optics thing, because no matter where you go, you're going home in your car.
Yeah.
But it's like, but when you're looking at it optically, drinking next to your car, it was just like that. Those optics, I think, just weren't going to last, And plus, artists didn't want to play to cars,
Yeah.
If they didn't have to, they weren't going to. So we decided to change the name to Northlands. We did pods.
Okay.
That whole pod thing. Really, the pod was like a 10 by 10 space. Each one was 6 feet apart, and we had another full season of shows. So it was kind of like Drive-In Live, but we stepped up to production and did bigger bands, and so it kind of, COVID was an interesting thing that kind of shot us into this next world, outdoor concerts and bigger numbers. And then it's at a fairgrounds. They're not used to having loud outdoor music every weekend, so the neighbors got a little tired of every weekend, all summer long music, which I understand. If you're not a music fan, I totally get it. So it was festival or nothing, and we, something had been built at that point, because of COVID and because of kind of the magic that happened during this really crazy dark time. It's like we had like organically built something that just brought a lot of joy to people, and it was all of us. It's not just me and my partners. It was everyone kind of coming together, and it just created this palpable thing that was pretty unique and special. So we didn't want to let it go, and we've always wanted to do a festival, and that's kind of how we landed at Northlands, the festival. So oddly enough, we're an event that was born from COVID. Not
that's wild.
Didn't do it before because it never would have happened without it.
So
Wow.
how many partners are involved in this project?
There are 3 now. It was the 2 of us until this year. So me and my partner Seth started Driving Live. We were working for years together before COVID with the performing arts centers. I was a musician for a long time before that, and then kind of got out of living in a van and decided to go on this side of things. But so there's 3 now. We brought on someone new this year to help out with several, places that we were weak in. So it's building the team that we need.
Yeah.
So there's three partners now.
We have some friends here in Oregon that have property, and the reason they bought the property was to develop it to become a concert venue. And this year is the first, I would say, big festival that they're doing. It's a local band thing that's going on, and I've seen some of the difficulties that they've encountered, some of the shit that they've had to go through to get this thing off the ground. With them, it's just a couple of people that are the partners in it, and then they're having to
till the land,
get help from the community to make this place suitable, right? What I want to know is what are some of the hurdles that you've encountered that you didn't expect throwing a festival? I see oh shit.
The whole thing.
Whole fucking thing. All of it, man.
I mean, we need bathrooms.
Holy smokes. Yeah, that is a loaded question. I mean, it is a bear. It's interesting. Even going from Driving Live in Northlands the season to a festival, we gained a lot of experience, but last year was a serious learning experience. The hurdles it's staffing. I mean, it's endless logistics. It's endless logistics for one weekend, and you have to get it right the first time. So, say you open a music venue and you are like, oh, we don't have enough bar staff, or we don't even have enough bar locations, but we can build one. We could put it over there. That'll work better next time around. You don't get that chance at a festival. You have one shot to get it right. And that is a whole unique issue in itself. So you really got to think and think again and bring it to other people and really work as a team to listen to each other. You got to throw your ego out the door and really just come up with the best solutions that's best for the festival. Not you having to be right, just what is right. So you have to think about things 15 times and then 15 more times to think, is this the right way that is logistically the way we can pull it off on site? So, it's the whole thing. And then there's all these little things like, okay, so we have to have catering for how many people backstage? How many meals is that?
Oh my God.
Oh, they're going to need refrigeration. Do we need to rent refrigeration? Do we have power for refrigeration?
Oh,
We're going to have to bring in power. How do we do this? And then, so there's okay, we need dumpsters. Well, we're doing composting this year. So we're going to need to bring in a separate company for composting and then a different dumpster company for trash and recycling. And that's endless. I could do that for the next 45 minutes on things that kind of just spiral.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was reading a bit about the compost that you guys are bringing in, which is such an awesome thing for a festival because, okay, people have to eat at a festival, period. And you can't just have one compost station because they're going to be eating in multiple areas. So, okay, that now you've got from okay, let's do a compost to now how many do we need? Where are they going to be located? How often are they going to be emptied?
Who's going to empty them?
Who will empty them? And then where's it going to go till the end of the festival so that when they can pick it up? I used to do a little bit of work with conventions. We lived in Las Vegas for a while, and they would do these massive conventions like car conventions, broadcasting conventions, whatever. So they hire staff to show people where to go or
hand out shirts
and tell people about their 5-minute spiel about the product. Drivers to get people to and from their meeting rooms and things like that. And this is Las Vegas. That is a place that is built on doing things like this. This is it runs smoothly, but even working in the background and seeing all the things that go wrong when it quote unquote runs smoothly from the front, that is a huge, huge undertaking. So how did the working with the what did you say that you worked with before? The
Oh, performing arts
Yeah, I'm
centers,
sorry.
or-
The performing arts centers. Like, what kind of things did you learn from that? You know, what did you take from that going into this festival?
Yeah, I mean, changing to, I mean, indoor to outdoor.
Yeah,
Itself, just that
exactly.
alone, you know, that alone, there's so many issues you have to worry about outdoors that you just don't have to inside. I
Like
mean,
weather,
weather obviously
right?
is the weather is the big one, you know? I mean, think about, I mean, this is crazy to even think about, but the Fish Festival a couple of years where everyone's on site and then there's water issues, right? And they cancel the whole thing, you know? You're just left out to the elements so much more. I mean, that's the big difference, but the takeaway was, you know, just being in the industry and knowing the agents, you know, I mean, what there's a lot of transferable skills that were just knowing the deals, the bands, knowing the bands, you know,
Okay.
knowing the agencies, knowing numbers, you know, it's kind of like that all is transferable skills. It's kind of understanding the numbers. I mean, but as far as the infrastructure goes, that
Yeah.
was a bear. You know, that is a totally different thing. Totally different thing. But the general, you know, skeletal structure of it is the same, where as far as like, you know, there's budgets and all that stuff, and there's production, and so a lot of the simple foundation stuff is there. But you know, that was probably 10-15%. The other 85% was wild
God,
and new.
And how, well, I'm curious too, because one thing we've heard, one thing that comes up, especially post COVID, is getting a festival insured. Like having insurance for like
I love the giggles,
for
dude.
like
I love
liability and stuff like that. I would just hear that that's more of a nightmare, which makes sense. You know, they're pickier about things. I'm just wondering that too, because that's got to be a huge thing.
Yeah, there's a fear factor with people. You know, it was harder in the beginning than it is now, but it's still hard because the insurance is like a whole new, it's like a different language than we all speak. You know, if you're not in insurance, you don't speak the insurance language. So trying to understand how to deal with it. And I do have to say, our new partner Jen is dealing with the meat and potatoes of that right now. So thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
But,
Thank you, Jen.
Shout out, Jen.
Yeah, but it's not fun, and it is harder. We've had a couple good years, and now they're used to us. I think if this was our first year, we were just, you know, out of the blue, that I think we'd have a much harder time. But we kind of scaled up, so we didn't start with this big thing right off the bat. We started with a decently sized thing, and now we've had 4 years under our belts of doing decent business with them. So it's gotten easier for us. But I would think right now, if you came out to do a 6,000 person camping festival, or you know, whatever it may be, I bet you'd have a really hard time.
Wow, it's crazy. And you know, Mike, the reason that I would imagine anybody does this is because you love music and you love festivals and you love these bands and you love the scene and you want to provide a place for people to have an experience and the whole thing. And you get into that and you're doing it. And like you've been in the business for a while, so you understand the ins and outs and whatnot, but are you still able to have fun when at the festival, man?
That's a hard one, to be honest. Last year, not too much, honestly, and that was a tough pill to swallow. You worked the whole year for this one weekend, and you know it was on us. It was a learning experience. It was our real first festival, you know, and we were understaffed. So me and my partner had to pick up a lot of the slack, and I lost 13 pounds in 2 weeks, and we were just running all over the place, and it was hard, but you know, it's the long game. It's like, I do want to find a balance, and I will. We'll find a balance, me and my partners. I know it, you know, but it's going to take a couple of years of putting the work in to make sure you can have this great thing in the end. So I think this year I'll find a good balance. We brought on such an awesome team this year. I couldn't be more stoked, actually. And I think we'll be able to find some time this year. But you're right. I think that's a lot of a hard thing for most promoters to do when you're, you know, like any work, when you're kind of obsessed with it, you just want it to be perfect. You it's hard to pull your head out of that and actually enjoy it. You know, I'd say at least every show we've done, I've kind of gone to the back and looked, you know, and at least get 5 minutes of the chills, you know, and just seeing happy people and all the hard work. And that does make it all worth it. Even if it's 5 minutes, And I will always get that. I'll always take the 5 minutes.
You find how to fit that in. Like, okay, I'm going to catch it. Well, another thing too, like you're doing a bigger festival. I just think towards like our buddy Jack, who has a band up here, and he does a small festival. And like last year, remember, Jack was running around.
Oh yeah.
His band is playing. He's throwing the festival. He's dealing with everything, and it was like about 400, or so, pretty small. But I mean, just that, even with small, he was so busy all the time, and just like
every person at the festival needs something at some point from the guy that's running the festival, and people are constantly coming up to you and asking you for shit. And hey, do you know where this is? Can we put this person here? We have this artist; they just arrived. You know, it seems to me like you're throwing the coolest house party ever in the whole wide world, and then everybody shows up at your house and you have to work.
Like, oh shit.
Ding ding.
So you were talking about staffing. How do you go about hiring staffing for these types of events? And like, you know, the staffing has to have unique skills here, because it's so many different hats. It's not just like, oh, greet people. You know, that's not the only, qualification they need to have. So how do you go about finding these?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question, actually. And it is, they are such unique skill sets. And at first, I mean, I guess I had the luxury of I've played a ton of festivals. I used to be in a band and toured for a long time, and made a lot of friends along the way that worked the festivals, were stage managers. And so I was lucky enough to have that side of the things, and knew enough people from my past that I could kind of talk to them, and they knew people who knew people, and were able to find the folks. But it is interesting because it is totally a unique skill set. I mean, it's so niche, you know, where it's like, you know, large music festivals, and you know, okay, site ops, you know, even just, okay, we need to put RVs and car camping here, and you have a crew that stripes the lots, who just paints the lots, and they know exactly how to do it and do it efficiently. And it's like, just because that's what they've done for festivals forever. It's a network. It's like, you know, knowing some people that knew other people. But, you know, we got all these people that came on this year that are friends of friends that are now our close friends, but because of the network that we had. But you're totally right. It is several unique skill sets, you know, people that just work hospitality for artists, you know, that is very specific. Skill set. But then hospitality for a festival, you know, when you have 30 plus bands and their schedules and who needs what when, I mean, that alone is just quite a job and unique. So there's doing these things at music venues, and then there's doing these things at festivals, and then that's its own skill set, because it's not the same.
That's crazy.
I mean, I would imagine what would be super helpful is a literal network of, you know, like you go on like Angie's List and you're like, okay, we need, 20 freaking, greeters. We need
stripers.
Yeah. You know, like what a good thing that would be because I don't think festivals are going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, more and more.
It seems
up.
As though from small to grand that they're popping up all over the country. People that have bigger properties are wanting to do things like that, even if it is just for a weekend or so. So creating some kind of like table of contents for people that are in this industry or that are adjacent to it would be so helpful for not just you, but literally everybody in the industry.
Get to work, babe.
That's
a good idea.
Great idea.
Do you want 2 hosts or 3 hosts, baby?
Well, the other side of this that we haven't even like touched on is the lineup of it. I mean, yeah, sure, you have to have shitters and stripes and people to work the concessions and take the tickets or whatever, but if the lineup's not solid, nobody's coming, none of that matters.
Yes.
Right? And curating a lineup for a festival, I think, is its own unique set of skills. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have a fucking amazing lineup. And actually, you could have called this No Simple Road Alumni Festival. But I mean, String Cheese Incident, Mike Gordon, Twiddle, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, Ariblo, Supersonic Shorties, Andy Frasco, Too Many Zoos, The Kitchen Dwellers, Mahali, Neighbor, The Nth Power, Jen Hartswick, Artist at Large. Like, when you're putting together a lineup for your festival, what's in your head? Like, what's that soup look like?
Yeah, that is a pretty wild one too. My partner Seth is definitely the talent buying extraordinaire. You know, he's been doing it for a very long time, and that's what he's very, very good at. But you know, we kind of sit in this office and just talk vibe. We're like, you know, we kind of go from headliner down or certain bands that you want there. And you know, soup is a good word for it, because it's, you know, it's a mixture of sales in the market and vibe. I mean, it's got to be a vibe and a flow and the whole thing. So, you know, it is really interesting. And then sometimes it comes down to availability. So it's all that, and it's not like you could never say, I want this band, let's do it. You know, for every band you see there's 2 or 3 other offers out there that either didn't work or we had to make a choice. And so it's piecing this puzzle together that you don't have total control over. But the whole time you have to keep in mind, does it fit? And is it also unique enough? And is it also keep it, you know, different enough too? Is it people would like it? Is it similar enough and different enough and vibe and good ticket sales? And it is a very, very interesting process. That's very like organic for us anyway. You know, other people might be more, and there's numbers obviously based on all the things that we do, but
right.
It's got to be that balance of numbers, availability, and just vibe. What do we want it to feel like? And you know, certain bands have certain crowds too, and that's something you think about too. Like, who do you want at your festival?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, we are, you know, I think we've all been the places that say family friendly, and maybe they're not, you know, but we really want to be family friendly. We all have families, and we want it to be a place where you can bring your kids and feel totally great about it. So that is part of it. It's like, who do you want there? And you kind of lead by who's playing there, and then by certain programs that you put on, you know, and having lots of activities for kids. And so that's kind of, it's all this big soup, as you say.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's definitely a gumbo. Definitely.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, and that's true to like the followers and
sticker.
stuff. Like we don't want juggalos, but we do want we don't want Fanta all over everywhere. We're Fago.
Well, what I was going to ask is, okay, so you've got the festival that was kind of born out of COVID. You got all these things that you've got to do. You mentioned vibe a couple times. What is the Northlands vibe? What is that you wanted to kind of put out instead of just another festival that's, you know, just A, B, and C? What is the Northlands vibe?
Yeah, that is a good question. We're trying to create that. I mean, and I think that we kind of started talking about it with the family thing. You know, we want to be socially conscious, we want to be environmentally conscious, and we want to be family friendly, you know. So we're in New England. We're an interesting state. You know, I love New Hampshire, but it's, you know, it's an interesting state. And then you guys are out west, so you know, It's kind of a purplish. It's interesting. You know, most festivals are in New York or in Vermont, and we just want it to be family friendly, environmentally conscious, and socially conscious. And we want to make it feel like New England, you know. So it's very outdoorsy. All of our ad materials are outdoors and animals, and we just, you know, it's I don't want to sound cheesy, you know, but
no, man.
We do want to be the kind festival, you know. So that's it. That's our vibe. I mean, we want to be friendly. I mean, a big thing for us that, like, when we talk to our staff, because there ends up being so much staff, is, you know, it's the customer experience. It's like, I know it's hard and I know it's stressful, and we're going to be working all day long and probably 95 degrees. And it's like, just make sure that everyone that shows up, if they have a question, let's get it answered, you know, before they walk away, because information is hard. Like we said, we have one shot to do this right. And, you know, people are there for one weekend, and there's always a little anxiety going into a festival. You're like, where am I going? And what's this? I've never been here. And we try really hard to make it easy for folks as much as we can. So we're really focusing on, like, be informative, be friendly all the time. We want to be happy faces, and we want to see happy faces. So it's all about that.
Based on what you've said, man, like, as far as vibe goes, the lineup that you've picked is, if I was picking a lineup for family friendly, this is it. This is 100% it. Having cheese and twiddle and pigeons and a reblow, just that. Like, everybody's going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree.
And back to what you said about the people that come to see those bands. Those are people that it's okay. You know what I mean? We're not talking tipper here. You know what I mean? This isn't whatever STS9 or.
What's wrong with being laid out at a festival smoking DMT on general admission?
No, it's fine if you want to do that. I'm totally cool with it, but just don't do it.
I don't want my grandson
you
there.
Don't want
all
your
right?
kids around it. Yeah,
it's Go ahead.
No, that's it. It's like we've all partied and had our fun, and partying is great. That's what we're here for, is to party. But there is like that different, and you just kind of called it. And I think we all know what we're saying. There's that certain line that's like, it's different. It's, I think one of our techs throws this party every year, and it's a family friendly thing. But the term he uses is, hey, party people, this is a family event. Hey, family people, this is a party. It's that balance of like,
I love that. That's great.
Like we're all responsible for taking care of things and keeping this like going right. It lays on everybody.
Yeah, and party and have a great time, and but there's a certain level, and like you said, it's like I think you kind of lead by example, lead by your lineup, and really gear it towards family. It's like we have this kids tent up in the field where you can see the stages from there. So if you're up there with your kids, you're not missing the music.
Oh, that's cool.
We have all these activities for the kids, and we have like the earphones that we can like lend out to people if they don't bring them for their kids, but it's like you can still see all the both stages, so it's totally cool.
That's very thoughtful.
That's a
and
idea
really
right
sweet
there.
Because my Aaron and I's daughter, they're in the industry. He's a drummer. They go to festivals, they go to the different things, and they're young. They're a young couple. And like I said earlier, festival life is, it's a part of our culture. And so to exclude kids 100% when so many people have these youngsters that just want to rip and run and have fun. And it's not like you can't do that with it's like going to like a big amusement park, but a different kind of a swing on it. And
Wook-filled amusement park ever.
Yeah, but like, we all can coincide. That's the point. And that's what's cool is like that rule, like, hey guys, this is a family event. Hey family, this is a, party event. And
it's a party.
Yeah. And I love that because there is room for both. And as long as people are respecting themselves and each other, then the event goes off beautifully and happily. And you can see the kids. I'll tell you what, being a grandmother, I do like to see kids running around and being cute with their little costumes. But then also at the end of the night, I'm sorry, I'm not, I want to have a good time too. And I don't necessarily, want kids just running around crazy everywhere. So like there is this like delicate balance that needs to happen. And it's great that you guys are paying attention to that.
Well, there's a festival here, was a festival here in Oregon called Northwest String Summit. Just ended last year was their last one. It's their 20th anniversary, and they ended the festival. But I think that was the best example I've ever seen of a family-friendly party festival. There was so much for kids to do all the time. Kids were not allowed to like leave the venue area without their parent. They had like matching bracelets. Everybody was watching out for each other. Kids were having a blast, and everybody was partying. And it's important. It's because we're, like Mel said, this is a community. We shouldn't be excluding anybody. So having the forethought to create something where everybody's included and everybody's feeling comfortable with what's going on, I think is really important moving forward into the world that we're in today. And I mean, it's kind of even in the name of the festival. It's just not Northlands Music Festival. It's Northlands Music and Arts Festival, right? So can you talk to me a little bit about the arts side of this and what that means?
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think if you like music generally, you like art. That's just the audio form of it, and so we have so much art in our community. I think, from the posters, and as you can see, a couple behind me.
I know. I was noticing that.
That's a great poster from last year.
So yeah, that's our last year's poster. Yeah, Paul Kreisenbeck did that, and then I had this guy out in California. I think he goes by Frame Fetish on Instagram or something. So you send it to him, and he just kind of creates art with the matting on the poster. So it's like he does all this unique stuff,
Frame
Fetish.
I'm in. Here we go.
Oh yeah, grab the phone. Yeah, he's really unique. So the art element, I think, is just something that it's just more. I mean, if you love music, you love art already. So that's, like I said, that's just the audio part, and the visual part, I think, is just makes the experience whole. We're doing a couple really special things this year, which I won't mention yet, but and we have as many live muralists and artists selling their wares and as we can, and I just think it's important. I love the idea of like, how does this look when you walk in, and the first thing you do is see something before you hear something. You walk in and you're seeing it all. So I think the visual with the audio, it's all got to mix to make the experience whole.
That's dope. God, I wish we could go.
Yeah.
And I'm curious.
You let me know.
Okay.
I'm curious personally too, because I know we were joking around before we came to Aaron's. Like, well, the first question I'll ask him is, when did you go crazy and decide to do a festival? So I mean, like, we all go to festivals. I'm curious. Like, you've got to have like your favorite or a couple of like favorite festivals you've been to that inspired doing it.
Yeah. I went to festivals pretty young. My first festival was 41. So I went to one of the fish festivals. I think maybe it was Oswego, not Lemonville, but I first started going to fish festivals, and that's really what got me into this. It was fish, going to fish shows, going to fish festivals, seeing all that. I just fell in love with it, and then after that is what made me a musician and touring around and playing festivals. I was always kind of keeping my eye out. I've always been kind of a busybody, so wanting to do more and loving community and wanting to do more for people. And so, what I have to say, and it's really sad for them this year, but Floyd Fest, I played Floyd Fest in Floyd, Virginia. I don't know if you guys know that festival.
I know the festival. We've never been.
Yet, but...
We've heard of it.
I've only been once, and it's stuck with me. I went there and I played the festival, so I wasn't there very long, but they had that vibe that you were talking about with the Northwest Spring Summit.
Yeah.
If that's what it was called.
That is it. Nailed it.
Okay. And what we're trying to do too, there was a lot of people with kids, but that was it. During the day, there was a lot of kids, and at night, parents were having a great time. And there was just this friendly factor to it that was just different to me. I loved it. And that festival really stuck with me. This year, unfortunately, they're having an issue with land, and I think they have to skip this year, which is a bummer.
Oh.
But and a bunch of our employees work with them too, so we're kind of we're all friendly. And I love it. It was such a great festival, and that really stuck with me. It's something to model yourself after. I just thought it was a great event.
So last year we got brought out to Peach Fest, and we podcasted from Peach Festival, and looks like we're going again this year. And coming from the West Coast, the three of us were really struck by the difference of the musical communities. Out west, you have pockets. So like the Northwest area of the country, everybody kind of knows each other in the scene up here. But down in California, it's its own other pocket. And then Denver is its own pocket.
Everything's so far apart.
There's a little bit of cross-pollination. You kind of see some of the same people that are willing to travel and shit. But out east, I noticed that everybody knew each other. It was like this huge family of people. And I think it's because of geographically, everybody's able to kind of travel in areas that it's just easier to get around. And, we've talked a little bit about the community of this. What is it about the community that makes you want to do something for it? Like, you could just want to be a part of it and be, okay, this is cool. I'm here enjoying it. But what is it about the community that makes you want to go the extra mile for it like that? Put your money and your time on the line.
Yeah. I think it's
Mike, those eyebrows.
Love it, dude.
My very expressive.
Yes, it's great.
I answer with my face before I answer.
You did.
Really, you know what it is? It's just like, and this is going to be something with me trying to fight a cheese factor here too, but it's the truth is that, I think music has a serious healing ability.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I go to a show, just as a fan, and it's hard for me to block out everything else now that I'm a promoter or whatever, and you see every facet of it, but there's sometimes when I know I can go to a show and I can block everything out and be present in that moment. It's the highest I've ever felt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it has this thing that is not like nothing else,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no danger. It's not like, we're not talking about drugs here. We're talking about the high of like music and that feeling and that peak. And that's the thing about jam band world too, is that, it's a kind of about that exploration and not knowing where it's going to go, and then getting to a place that just gets you there, so that this community is kind of built around that, that feeling of music kind of being, I think, healing, which is why any people like live music, but it feels strong in this community. So that's it for me. It's like, I just know what it does for people and the happiness that it brings, and to be able to help facilitate that for a lot of people. I mean, I feel like honored to do it.
Wow.
It's like, it's a serious joy for me to do it. So yeah, it's all worth it. It's crazy. It's a crazy amount of work, but, we got great people around us and a great community. So it's all worth it in the end.
That's a beautiful answer, man.
Well, I think some people are going to work hard regardless because it's their nature. Like, they're going to, Chevron, and they're going to work hard because they're a hard worker. So when you find something that you're passionate about, and like you said, you're a musician and you also are a listener of music and a participator. So to be able to flip the script on it like that and bring the people music one time and then bring them the fun that they get from the music, that's a really amazing thing to do. And what a fun way to spend your hard work. You know what I mean? Like, that is a really great way to do it. Like, all right, seems like you were a hard worker already, and now you're just transferring that skill into something that is grander, a little bit grander.
Yeah, man.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of this thing I tell myself constantly, because there's definitely moments where you have a hard time sleeping. There's millions of logistics, and you can let it negatively affect your life, which kind of seems counterintuitive or counteractive for what it really should be. And when it starts getting that way with me, when there's a lot of stress piling on, I kind of like tell myself that, where it's like this is actually a dream. Like, what do you, don't stress it, just do the work, get it done. You have a great team. This is a dream. Like I said, I feel honored to do it. So I kind of have to take a step back and tell myself that when things kind of get overwhelmed.
Okay, so you have some positive self-talk that you give yourself to remind yourself. That's what I was going to ask too, is these events are stressful in and of themselves, even if things are going smoothly. So, everything's great. You've got enough staff. The food's there. Ticket sales are good. Then the sound fucking sucks. Something happened with the sound. You know what I mean? Like, something that you thought was great and is out of control or in control, and now it's become out of control. So you have the positive self-talk. What are some of the other things that you do to kind of anchor yourself down instead of kind of getting up into a tizzy when shit goes wrong?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, kind of being in the role that we are in, me and my partner, you kind of have to lead by example and be solution oriented. So I kind of just go into this let's fix the problem. I mean, when it gets so bad like that, say a whole stage goes out in the middle of String Cheese's set, which is beyond a nightmare, right? But it's so bad where you're just like, okay, we got to fix it. Let's just find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the most part, we're all able, when it's in the moment and it is like a real serious mishap like that, we all just kind of get to work and fix it. Then afterwards, you kind of let it go.
Oh,
holy shit. Oh my God.
The sigh that comes out after that.
It just happened.
Oh yeah.
It just happened
with,
don't breathe. Yeah. With Goose up in Seattle at the Paramount Theater. The stage went out in the middle of the show, and they had to
what was that?
I don't know. 2 hours.
Yeah.
They worked on it for 2 hours. Yeah. And then Goose came out and played one set. Yeah, man. What do you do? And that's one night, like you said. There's no tomorrow or next band. That's it. Like, you're shitting your pants at that point. Like, we're either going to lose our shirt or this is going to go down in history as one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah.
You have it's no one or the other, man.
Then you got to worry. I'm curious too on that. I mean, I guess it would make sense. Like when a festival gets canceled, like, I mean, that is a horrible one, the curveball, with like when are you covered with like insurance that helps with a portion of that or anything? Or you just have to eat the whole thing, refunding everybody?
We don't talk about that.
So
no,
we're gonna get to all of it. I want to get to all of it.
That's like a nightmare. Like,
yeah, that's a choice. If you can get cancellation insurance that have many different levels of what it covers,
and what it costs. Of course,
if you ever had to use it, they would make it very hard for you to actually collect. But they do have cancellation insurance, which is not cheap as you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like deciding to take a big risk and save yourself money on that line item or not. So they do offer it. Yes.
Okay.
And,
but it's going to cost you.
Choice.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't need it, you're going to be like,
everything.
Shit.
I'm assuming everything's going to cost you. Like everything looks at you with $sign eyeballs,
Oh.
So, okay,
budgets,
can we talk about budgets? Because, just say somebody's listening to this and they have, a kind of dream of being a festival, promoter and, getting these awesome bands, whether they're big or small. And maybe they don't have a freaking, inheritance money that they can just, okay, I'll put this up. How do you even go about getting funded, or how do you go about finding people who are interested enough monetarily to help you put this together? That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. I know.
He's like, if you find out, let me know.
Yeah, exactly. Because for us, and I'm going to be totally honest with you here. For us, Drive-In Live happened because when COVID hit, there was government loans that were out there.
Yeah.
Not grants, but loans. And they were those 30-year low interest loans.
Yep.
That's how we did it. We're just a couple guys that live in New Hampshire. It's like we couldn't have done it without that. So we just took that small government loan and put it in the Northlands, and we've just been rolling it over. So for us, I mean, that's how it worked.
Dude.
Wow.
Anything else? I don't know. Work hard, show proof of concept, show that you can work hard. I think, you got to get your foot in the door. It's almost like start on ops. I think a lot of people make a mistake by saying, I want to run a festival. I want to do it. And they go from zero to trying to put on their own festival for the first time. And I think that's when people really get hurt. I don't think it's smart or safe to do that. It's like, if you want to get into it, start on the ops crew, start building it, seeing how all the infrastructure gets built. Take your time. Don't rush into it, because you can get hurt pretty bad, financially if you do that. So I would say work hard, get in on the ops crew, be an honest, trustworthy, good, hardworking person, and stay with it, and you'll get there if that's where you want to get. But don't rush it.
Yeah,
I like that, and I'll say one more thing that I like is that the government money went to this. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what a great thing to do with a turd that we had gotten handed to us. You know what I mean?
well put. Wow.
It's true. Let's have a freaking party when we're freaking locked up and couldn't even see and touch each other and smell each other. Now let's freaking create this, that we're with kids. We're not leaving kids out, and we're like putting the best bands that we possibly can. Like, what? Thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
even though that we haven't been, thank you for doing that for the greater musical community, because it needs it.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
And for to me too, like, I mean, all of us, obviously, we're in the jam band community. That in its own is special, because I think of like the festival, your regular festival goers for jam band festivals are not as needy and picky as, like, I couldn't imagine the logistics of like running Coachella, where you got movie stars and supermodels and all these fancy VIP tents and everybody's bougie. It's like that vibe, just, the vibe of the jam band stuff. And like they were saying, kind of like what you've created. We haven't been, we're gonna be. It's amazing. And the same thing as they said, thank you for doing this and throwing your hat in the ring, you and your partners, to make another incredible jam band festival happen.
Man. Yeah, I got to go back to something though. The the whole reason behind this is because you're a music fan, and you're a drummer, right? And
Yep. I'm a drummer.
you've worked in the industry for a long time, but before any of that, there was you that was just a dude that had an experience somewhere that like turned you on. You were like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. What was it?
It was. I know it exactly. It's a great question. My first Fish show was the Wipeout show in Worcester, 11/27/98. I think it was 11/27. That, I was listening to Fish before that. I was like, oh, cool. My hippie friends like it. That's cool. And I was like 16 years old or something. And I went to the show and it was just like, I was like, they don't just play songs. That they just kept going. What was happening? And there was like the peaks, and it was just a whole new experience. I'll never forget standing outside after that, just like probably jaw to the ground, like what just happened? And it just changed my life,
Dude.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It's funny that you answer that like all of us have a date. 2/10/89. Like this is 91.
I don't have a date.
Mel doesn't have a date.
I don't have a date.
Well, that was the Grateful
Yeah,
Dead.
you do. It was the Gorge 2018.
I guess that could be considered my date.
Oh, the Gorge. I'd love to go to the Gorge.
Anytime you want to come out, man, just say the word. You got a place to stay. We'll roll up there with you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'll do it. I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay, do
It's
it. I'm
fun.
serious.
It's the greatest pilgrimage that like we go on out here on the West. I mean, you talk about being in the middle of nowhere. It and that lends to the vibe as well. You got to walk 1.5 miles from camp to get to the venue. It's an experience.
It's
love it.
Yeah, just standing there with the sun going down.
Yeah, when nature participates with Fish's music, because it's not Fish participating with nature. I'm telling you, it's nature. It's like, okay, cue the sunset. All right, let the breeze come in. And it is something that it really is like being one with everything. Your neighbor, the
crazy.
music, the environment, the time. Like, it's so special.
Just picture like the stage. Behind the stage is this just immense canyon with a river running through it, mountains in the distance, and the sun's going down, and they're playing Divided Sky. Like
I got chills right now.
I just did too.
Me
I'm
too.
saying it.
It's the craziest shit ever. And like, my point is though that like we all have an experience that changed our life. That shit changed my life too, man. Like for real.
Mm-hmm.
And you're providing an avenue for that to happen for people, even more than just going for another weekend and have it going to another festival, whatever. No, it's not that. You're setting the stage for magic to happen for people that you don't know. The next Trey Anastasio could be born out of an experience that they have at this festival. You know what I mean? And not to like, no pressure. No, it's not like that. It's like, it's like, no, man, you set the thing up, you do the best you can. You put the best foot forward and set the stage for this thing to happen. And then you got to like open your hands to it and let it go. And okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. And that's in the world that we live in today, man. That is anywhere that magic can happen is necessary and essential. And like they said, man, thank you for providing an avenue for that, man. It's super fucking important, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind words. I really appreciate it.
Man.
It is a special thing, and I feel pretty honored to do it, like I said. So
I want to know, one of my last questions is, what is one of your, most memorable moments? It can be good or bad, for last year's festival. You're going through everything. What was one of your most memorable times through that whole process?
Most memorable times. I think, I guess that's a bummer because it is bad, but it's it was when the gates opened and thinking you're prepared to let all these people in and not have traffic going way down the road and kind of falling short there. And me and my partner throwing on aprons full of wristbands and joining the box office team and trying to get all the cars off the road. I know that sounds so lame, but it was like the first touch. It was the first okay, we're open, so it had this feeling of like, a whole year's worth of work. And now this is it. And then all of a sudden, oh shit. Like right away.
Right out the gate. Oh shit.
Right out the gate. It was like, oh shit.
Let's get the shit out of the way.
Yeah. So, all of us was all hands on deck. We all just start trying to get cars in and we got phones scanning tickets and all of a sudden all the phones die. And it was just a disaster.
Oh shit.
But we I'm laughing now because it's funny to think of, but we got them all in, and as much as like you kind of said, like in the background, you could be shitting the whole time. But as long as like people are having a good time out there, it's like, I'll take all the shits if you guys out there are having the yes,
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
So it was the first, like, it's like you build up to this thing that you've been working on all year, then you open the doors and the shit happens right away. So that was it. But we got through it. And, it kind of was one of those moments that felt like, I don't know about, we're screwed. I was like, oh no,
fuck.
Like we can't, oh no, but we got through it. It felt that way at the time. It felt overwhelming, but we got through it. And then, you had a great feeling afterwards. Like, oh,
right on.
I'm going to go drink a beer.
Well, then that's good. You got who as we talked to, it was Tommy Hamilton or something. It was like, get your mistake over with,
Yeah,
right?
get
You
your
always
shit out of
make
the
a
way.
mistake when you're a band, you go on stage. If it happens early on, then you're over it and you're going to have a good show.
Good to go.
And then I have two,
I love that.
I have two simple questions. Who is in the picture directly behind you? It looks like somebody on the piano. Or what is?
Trey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
blowing love out of his
beautiful.
guitar.
Okay, I was having a hard time making that out.
Dude,
That's
those-
amazing.
I always want to know what's on everybody's walls.
That is so
Isn't
cool.
that awesome?
That is
Yes.
beautiful.
I love it.
That is so
I
rad.
had to get it.
For everybody listening, it's that
Yes.
shot of Trey leaned back with his guitar, and the background is all black, and there's like rainbow energy
Coming out
of
of
his
it.
guitar.
Wow, that's
fucking
incredible.
That's okay. That was a good answer. And I'm curious too. What's the edge of the other poster? I just
Apple's a
always have
poster
to.
nerd.
Yeah, I'm a poster freak.
So I am a huge Tedeschi Trucks fan.
Okay.
And so that's one of probably 15 Tedeschi Trucks posters I have.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sick.
Signed by Susan and Derek. And actually, there's a little piece of art up there that was from
On
our
top.
Halloween show at Drive-In Live. Tedeschi Trucks pennant and a fish pennant and a rubber chicken.
Because you gotta have a rubber chicken.
Yes. Heck yeah.
All right. So, Mike, anything about Northlands that we didn't discuss that, the listeners need to know about?
I mean, just information. Like, I guess we kind of took a deep dive, but really, I mean, northlandslive.com is the website. It's
Okay.
that's really it. It's like, check out our social media and our website if you're interested. We're pretty attentive to responding to emails and questions. So feel free to ask away. If you've never been before, if you're interested, go ahead. We have great folks that work with us that answer people's questions. So that's really it. I think we talked about a lot of it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It was a fun one. And we haven't really gotten to do this with somebody to kind of deep dive into the origins and the intricacies of what a festival actually is and does.
Oh, well, what
Yeah.
it takes. Yeah, we got a lot of listeners right up in your area.
Yeah,
too,
man.
all
There's-
around
yeah.
there.
And you know,
really?
Yeah. We have it's weird. Our listener base is like very Portland centric and then very heavy East Coast. So it's
No
weird.
kidding.
Yeah, man. So
We're big in Japan.
That's
yeah,
great.
too.
and we're also big in Japan.
We're not big. We're
We have a presence.
yeah, we got a presence.
There's two deadheads in Japan that listen to us.
They love you guys.
They're hardcore though, man. They're hardcore. Oh.
Right on, man. Well, you guys, you're in our prayers, brother. I hope everything goes well.
Yeah,
It's
you're
gonna be great.
It's gonna be awesome.
And maybe next year we could work something out so we could be there
All
with
right,
you
so
guys.
we have
Oh, we'd love to have you.
Yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate you guys having me on too. And,
Sure, brother.
and this was really fun. So if you ever want to come out, you just let me know.
All right, man.
All right.
And this we're gonna drop this Wednesday, so this will be coming out this coming Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
We'll get it out early
Cool.
because we want to. get it out so that there's time for people to buy tickets when they hear it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
Right,
I'll
cool.
let the people know.
All right, man. And I'll tag you guys and all that stuff on Instagram when we do it. And with the ticket giveaway, I guess the best thing to do is just whoever wins, I'll just throw it in the Instagram DM and shoot you an email.
Yeah, you could do. And if you want to run on Instagram, do you know how to do the contributor thing? Like I can make us a contributor.
We can run it together. Yep.
Together.
I'll do it. I'll do that. Okay.
And then last thing too, let us know if you're going to be doing any fish shows, because we're doing like Denver and stuff. If you're going to be at fish shows, let us know so we can meet up, give a hug.
Oh, I would love to meet you guys at a fish show for sure. I will let you know. There's nothing in the plans right now because I'm so focused on the fest.
Yes.
If it happens, I'll let you know.
Well, we hope to see you at Dick's. That's our favorite. We hope it.
And I meant what I said, man. If Fish does Gorge next year, let us know. You can come stay with us before and then head up there with us.
It'd be rad.
Yep, I'll take you up on that for sure. That's always been like a pilgrimage for me. I got to get out there.
All right,
yes.
Right
all
on,
right, brother.
Mike.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks for everything, bro.
You got it. Thank you so much. Great meeting you guys.
Yeah, you too. Aww.
That was really, really unexpected. I mean, I didn't think it was going to go bad. Unexpectedly super fucking cool. He's a dope person.
Yeah, super interesting to get into. Like Mel said, we haven't really talked to a promoter on the show.
Yeah, and
we go to shows and we're part of like kind of being backstage and we see what goes on, the headaches, but haven't sat down and talked with somebody. What a cool guy you are.
Yeah, there's a lot involved in that, and we talked about a lot, but there's still so much more. You can't get every little particle of what's going to happen or what could happen or what you need. You're just like, okay, let's go.
We have 10,000 incinerates that we're bringing in for the festival. do you know what that is, Apple? An incinerate?
Absolutely not.
It's an incinerator toilet. Mel showed it to me the other day. It's super interesting. It's a toilet with no water, and then when you flush it, it turns everything to ash. And
like
put
burn.
it in compost.
Okay, like burns. Like
yeah. So Northland's gonna have it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So you're saving water, but then you gotta have fuel.
Yeah. Anyway.
I guess you could make the fuel from the methane.
There's no fuel necessary.
Really?
No, you
How
didn't
does it burn?
It was like electric or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you there's like this little. It kind of looks like those like toilet covers, but it's like
a bag.
It's not a bag. It's like shaped like a taco kind of, and you put it in the
taco.
Yeah, you put it inside of the toilet, and then you do your business, and then you flush it, and it incinerates your pee and your poop and that little
because that was my
bag.
first question. What happens to the pee?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're off track.
No, that's
sorry.
I'm very interested.
You started it.
I did.
Yeah, yes, you did by throwing that word out there, which I can now mispronunciate.
Pronunciate. Yeah, perfect, Apple. Well done, dude. Here's the thing. If you think of any project or company or podcast or whatever, the energy of that thing starts with the person or people that are in charge of it.
Yes.
The vibe of it starts with those people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can have the coolest lineup, the best festival grounds, the best food, incinerets at every corner. And if the people that are running the show are shitheads, it's not going to tank it. It's not going to fly.
Somehow or another, it'll show through.
Right. The energy will come
yes.
through. Mike, just from meeting him for an hour, that festival is going to be a fucking blast.
Yeah.
You can see in his eyes the love he has for this community and the music.
And for what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that usually attracts like-minded people, and I'm sure his partners, everybody are just as dope.
Yep. Man, I wish we could do everything all the time. You know,
I don't.
Someday.
I don't want to do everything all the time.
Yeah, not everything all the time. Most of the things.
Most of the things.
Most of the things a lot of the time.
Most of the things sometimes.
How about this? Things, I wish we could do everything that we wanted to do.
There you go.
How about that?
I usually do.
Everything you wanted to do.
Well, that's because you're Mel. I mean, that just goes with being you.
So everybody out there listening, I hope the best for you and that you can do everything that you want to do as well.
Huh? What are you looking at?
The dates.
Oh,
dates.
I was just going to say Northlands Music and Arts Festival in Swansea, New Hampshire on June 16th and 17th, 2023 with The String Cheese Incident, 2 sets, Mike Gordon, Twiddle, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, Aribolo, Supersonic Shorties, Andy Frasco and the UN, Too Many Zoos, Kitchen Dwellers, Mahali and Friends, Neighbor, The Nth Power with Jennifer Hartswick, Doom Flamingo, Dogs in a Pile, Daniel Donato's Cosmic Country, Karina Reichman, Artist at Large, Jennifer Hartswick, and then there's a campground stage with a bunch of other bands, Baked Shrimp, Barely Dead, Bella's Bar Talk, Consider the Source, Doughy Joey, Drunken Doya Monkey, Dub Apocalypse, Escaper, our buddies, Funky Dogs, Jatoba, Nick and Nate Play Marley, Sickard Hollow, Yam Yam, Uncle Jesse, and Zach Nugent's Dead Set. So go to northlandslive.com. That's northlandslive.com. Get yourself some passes. There are day passes available, right, Mel? You saw
day
that?
passes were $89.
Damn, that's a good deal for a day pass of a festival.
That's one thing I was going to say. The pricing on this festival is pretty good, too. I mean,
and
for what you're going to see.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open on the Instagram, the No Simple Road Instagram. We're going to be giving away a pair of passes for you, so you'll be able to win tickets to go to Northlands. And if not, go to northlandslive.com.
Also, Northlands, I like their font. It's really cute.
The whole thing is cool.
Mm-hmm. The poster, the
moose
whole thing.
in a canoe, fishing with the turtle mushrooms. It's
these are people that are in the community. They're doing this festival.
Hey, everybody, guess what?
What?
You have now reached the end of a No Simple Road episode. So you know what you could do now?
What?
Anything you want. The world is open to you. You could actually go buy a private jet or go scuba diving, climb a mountain. You could just continue working or driving.
Yeah. And don't worry.
Poop.
You could go poop.
Get an Incinelette.
And don't worry, this message will not self-destruct because that's violent.
Yeah, that's true. So it's Wednesday right now. We'll be back on Friday with another episode of No Simple Road. And until then, take care of each other, smile at a stranger, safety third, hydrate, and learn a new skill this week. It's important to keep that neuroplasticity.
Pickle something.
Plastic. Okay. Not your brain, though. We love you guys. Peace.
Mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe, and I'm the host of That's Awesome with Joe, a podcast on the newly formed Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. I talk with tons of your favorite artists, managers, touring personnel, and more. Most of the time we talk about music, but lots of the time we end up talking about something completely unrelated. We laugh a lot. We do a lot of really stupid things, but also some things that are really informative and interesting. Basically, it's a podcast that I think you should listen to. Obviously, I'm biased because it's my podcast, but I think I might be into it if I wasn't the host. Check it out at soundtalentmedia.com.